Kia ora koutou. Kua hui mai nei ki tēnei hui, ki te ākau I te mātai whenua. No ko te rangi me te taranaki ahau. E nāi nei I noho ana ahau ki whakatū I te tauihu o te waka a Maui. Ko Kilmeny Stevens tōku ingoa. Ko kairahi mātai whenua o te kaunahira o whakatū. E ki ana te whakatauki, he waka eki noa. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Hello everyone, and welcome to this presentation as part of the Middle Earth Regional User Conference in 2021. My name is Kilmeny Stevens and I'm the team leader GIS at Nelson City Council. I'll be talking to you today about our draft Nelson Plan and coastal hazards and the engagement that we've done with our public to try and get their feedback on the plans that we're putting together for the future. So I'll give you a brief introduction to Whakatū Nelson to start with. We're a unitary council, and many of you will already know this, so that means we have regional and local council responsibilities. To our west is Tasman District Council and to our east is Marlborough District Council. We have a great climate, usually lots of sunshine. We're a gateway to the top of the south, and it's a great place and lots of people want to move here. So since 2013, the Nelson region has had 9 to 12% increase in their population. So the resource management plan is what council can use to balance that growth with the environment and protecting our environment. So I'm going to talk to you today about the plan review and a little bit of background about where we are in that process, the engagement methods that we've used, and a bit more detail about the draft Whakamahere Whakatū Nelson Plan, which is an E-plan, and then coastal hazards and in particular coastal inundation community engagement that we've had so far. So a little bit of background. The Resource Management Act of 1991 requires that we do a full review of our resource management plan every 10 years. We do already have one, and we're undergoing that 10-year review at the moment. And many of you will already know that central government is reviewing the Resource Management Act, and we just don't know what's going to happen in that space. So I can't talk to you about the future, but I'll just tell you where we are at the moment in our process. So we started with the regional policy statement, and this informs the Nelson Plan, and we're in a draft state at the moment. We had intended to go out for public engagement in the beginning of 2020, and that didn't happen because of COVID. We did go out for public engagement towards the end of the year, between October and December, for the draft plan and coastal inundation. And it's been a really great collaboration between the GIS team and the planners, and we've both learned about each other's work and enjoyed that interaction. So one of the engagement methods that we used was to send out letters to property owners. There are various topics that the Nelson Plan includes. For example, the heritage precincts. The photo on the left there is South Street, and that's one of the heritage precincts in Nelson. And on the right, you see a photo of a lovely valley that is very close to the centre of Nelson and could be developed. So the plan is how we balance the rules around development. So initially, the planners wanted to go out for engagement on 25 different topics. And as you can understand, this could be complex. So we didn't want to send, say, 5 different letters to a property owner. We wanted to send one letter that had all of those 5 topics in it. So we decided to use Python because that's a repeatable, robust method of doing this. And the method we used was to start with a layer with all the properties, add a field to that layer for each topic we're interested in, and then do an intersection of the properties with the topic. So we selected a property if it intersects and calculated the field equal to 1, and went through and did that for each topic. And at the end of that, we concatenated all of those fields together to get the unique combinations of topics and did a frequency on that field, so we knew how many of each combination there were, and then exported that to Excel. And the planners went through and randomly picked properties and made sure that the combination of topics matched what was actually the case. Turned out by the end of the year, when we actually did go out for engagement, they decided to concentrate on 7 different topics, and that made it a less complex process, and the Python script still worked really well for that, so that we were able to reliably identify the properties that were intersecting with each topic. Other methods that we used are Shape Nelson, which is a website council has to engage with the community and share different projects and consultations that are underway. For the Nelson Plan and Coastal Inundation, we had drop-in sessions. For Nelson Plan, we also had 2 online question and answer sessions and various web maps. So I'm going to talk about that now. To start with, the draft Whakamahere Waikato Nelson Plan, we used the national standards for this plan, and the idea behind this is that all across the country, if you go to a new place, then the zones are the same colour, they have the same definitions, and it's easier to understand. You don't have to learn a whole lot of new information each time you go to a new place. So that's great. And we worked with the planners and with a company called IsoPlan to put our information into an e-plan. We also, well, we didn't, but the planners and comms team put together a video to show how to use it, because it is new to some of the people in our region. They haven't seen the information presented in this way before. So I'm just going to show that to you now. And this is the e-plan. You can see we've got our zones there and precincts. There are a lot of different precincts, and you can search for an address. I'm just going to do 110 Trafalgar Street, and that is where Civic House is, which is the council building, council office building, and it's going to go away and search for the information and bring it back in a easily understood panel here on the left hand side. There is a little bit of information that it's sorting through, so it's taking a moment. So you can see here it's in the city centre zone. There is a specific control related to that property, and it's a category B historic heritage item. If I just turn that on, you'll see it's just this part of the building at the south end here. The power of this tool is that you can click on the property specific Nelson Plan chapters, and it's going to take you straight to that zone and tell you about that zone, give you an introduction, tell you the objectives and the policies that are relevant for that zone. And then down here it will also tell you the rules that apply to activities in that zone. So it's just an easier way for people to find the information they're after, rather than flicking between paper copies and paper maps. The other thing that we did was we still did create a slightly more traditional web map for the Nelson Plan, and I'll show that to you now. So an advantage of this approach is that we can switch between backgrounds, which you can't do in the Nelson Plan. You can search for properties the same way you would otherwise. You can turn on heritage layer, you can turn on all the layers. Very similar interaction to the e-plan, you just can't get to the text from here. So advantages to both of them. Now I'll talk about coastal hazards, and in particular coastal inundation. We had a couple of different drop-in sessions for this, with about 80 people coming along to those, and used large maps up on the walls so that the public could talk to technical experts about their property and what the implications of it are with coastal inundation. We worked with Waikato District Council to prepare an app that shows a hydrodynamic coastal inundation assessment, which is a more detailed, specific model for our central city. And you can use the slider tool here. It gives you different years and different scenarios for what the coastal inundation might be in the future. This tool was developed by ECAN Environment Canterbury and Bay of Plenty and Waikato District Council as a tool to help regional councils share this information with the public more easily. And Waikato District Council was really helpful in helping us put this together. However, it turned out by the time we went out for public engagement on this topic, our neighbouring council, Tasman District Council, had recently done the same thing, and they presented their information in a different way. And we wanted to be consistent with what they did, so it was decided to be more similar to the Tasman District Council approach. So I'll show you what we ended up doing. And we used a tabbed web map approach where the present day coastal inundation is on one tab, and you can easily go from one to another to find out what the potential inundation is. Again, you can search for a property. I'll go for 110 Trafalgar Street again, and it will zoom to that property. You can zoom to it and just see what the potential inundation is. We are using the 1.5 metre sea level rise coastal inundation scenario on our land information memorandums at the moment. You can click on the button here to see the projected sea level rise, and this is a table that was prepared by the Ministry for the Environment. You can also click on more information and again go back to Shape Nelson and get all the supporting documents related to coastal inundation. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. If you have any questions, I think there'll be time for that now. Otherwise, you're welcome to email me at the email address there or call me, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.